right? Now let's move on and try to understand how life of an ABAP developer, life of an ABAP developer changes because of HANA. How life of an ABAP developer changes because of this DB. So just think about it. Let's talk about our training that we have seen till now. So what we have seen here, that till now we have seen that we have presentation layer, right? Application layer. This is what we have seen. And the third one is database layer. Database layer. This is what we have seen, right? So till now what we were doing is, or you can say, I will write it as before HANA DB. So before, what we were doing, let's check that part, then we will see after HANA DB what we will do. So before, we were creating selection screen, right? Creating and using selection screen, right? Selection screen. Then we were writing select star from the database table using internal table, right? I tab, internal table. Then we were looping on the internal table. So we were performing some select data and we are bringing this into the internal table and storing it. Then we are looping on the internal table into work area, right? Then displaying data to ALV or report. And then if I have to perform some operation, we were updating or deleting the records. This is what we usually do, which is my traditional ABAP programming. And at last we were committing the changes into the database, right? This is the thing which we usually do. Are you getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
This concept is also known as data to code paradigm. Interview question: what is data to code paradigm? Where is my data? Data was being stored on the database layer. And if where is my logic part? Where is my code written? My code is written on the application layer. So earlier we were simply performing select, we were writing my select query to bring my records directly into the internal table, directly storing it into the internal table. So we were bringing data and storing it into the internal table on the application layer, and then we were performing the operation. So if I explain it a little bit more, we can see most of our logic and processing part, logic part and processing part were happening on the application layer only, happening on the application layer only. And we were using the database layer very less, right? Because I was just bringing the data from the database layer and not performing anything. But now HANA database coming into picture, most efficient database, right? It is very powerful. And this paradigm is also known as data to code paradigm. So this paradigm is also known as data to code paradigm, right? Data to code paradigm. Now let's talk about the after scenario of HANA. So after. after what happened. So with HANA coming into the picture, our purpose has changed. So our purpose has become to use the database layer more efficiently, because we all know HANA is the most powerful database. So if we are not utilizing its all of its feature, then it is completely worthless. Why we have paid so large amount of money for that? So our purpose has changed a little bit. We are going to utilize our database layer more efficiently, and most of the logical and analytical part will happen directly on the database layer. Everything directly on the database layer itself. Okay. Now we all know that HANA-DB is more powerful, and works on multi-core CPU concept or processing concept, not MUT, multi-processing concept, right? Works on multi-processing concept, and since data is also there, then it becomes more easier to perform the operation and return the result on the application layer. Here what we are going to now do is, here we will send the input from the application layer, and most of the processing part will be done only and only on the database layer. And that is why HANA has been designed. HANA has been designed for the same purpose, so that it can handle millions of records at the same time. So now the load on our application layer will be very less, and overall the performance will be more of our application, right? So what paradigm this will be called now? Code to data paradigm. Now our code is getting sent directly to the database layer, right? This is what your code push down technique. So I'll write a note here. Now this programming paradigm is called code to data paradigm. This is called code to data paradigm. Here what we will be doing, here we will be pushing our data incentive logic directly on the database layer itself. We have seen that thing also in case of our new ABAP syntax, right? You remember, we were pushing the data directly onto the database layer, right? So all the logical part will be now mostly done on the database layer itself. This is what it is known as code to push down technique. We will pushing the data directly on the database. Is it clear what I'm talking about here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Move on to the next thing. So, how HANA got adopted by the industries? How HANA got adopted by the industries? How HANA got adopted by the industries? Very important question. Yeah, this is not so easy, right? If I have launched a product and I am selling that this my product is 100 crores, its cost is 100 crores, will you buy? Definitely you are not going to buy. You will simply say, I'm already using your previous product and I am happy with that. Why should I buy that, right? You cannot directly come into the market and you will say that, yeah, my product is will be more faster and more efficient and please buy it. Its cost is just 100 crores. Nobody is going to buy that, right? So what SAP did, SAP provided lots of support. SAP provided lots and lots of supports to their users, and they also given them HANA database connectivity. HANA database connectivity, and they showed the both efficiency. What they said that I'm we will help you to connect with the HANA DB, and parallelly you are going to execute your application on your existing ECC or any let's say traditional database, right? So what SAP did, SAP showed them the performance by show them the performance, the performance the efficiency of HANA DB by comparing it with the existing ECC, which has, let's say, Oracle database, etc. So they showed them the performance, and over over the time, some of the big customers of SAP realized realized the importance of this application of this software, the importance of this software, and they started to migrate on HANA. So you might have heard most of the current SAP projects are only going on migration, right? Everybody is migrating on HANA database. So most of the projects are only going on migration. SAP has told to end the support of the ECC system by 2027. So this is 2025 already, only 2 years, right? So HANA is very crucial for us.